Hello, my name's Simon Tillotson. I'm the team vicar here at All Saints Whitstable, and it's good to welcome you to this website and to think a little bit more about the subject of doubt, which is what I'll be preaching on the 1st of May. As I look at our culture today, I see an increasingly large percentage of our culture who call themselves atheists, and in fact, strong atheism is becoming more and more common. People say, we can't possibly believe in there being a God or there being a spiritual life beyond the realities of life. And I understand people who say that. I don't agree with them, of course, but I understand where they're coming from. And on the other extreme, we have more and more fundamentalist religion, not just fundamentalist Islam, which we hear about a lot on the news, but fundamentalist Christianity too exists quite a lot. And in this sort of fundamentalism, people are told that they shouldn't doubt, that they shouldn't question, that they should simply believe. And it seems therefore we've got this divide more and more between believers and non-believers. And yet, speaking as someone who's been in the ordained ministry now for 22 years and having conducted many weddings, baptisms and funerals, I have to say that many people I meet out there in the parish are a mixture of faith and doubt. For example, non-churchgoers, I often find at times of funerals, will have some belief in heaven and life after death. They will have some faith there. Similarly, churchgoers will have some doubts when they see suffering around them. When you think of the suffering of the Second World War or the Holocaust, or when you look at today's suffering, the suffering of refugees, or the suffering of the Hillsborough victims we've just been listening about in the news, or whatever suffering it may be, many people, including churchgoers, do ask questions of God. Why do you allow it? Why is there suffering? And so the reality, I think, is that actually a lot of people are a mixture of faith and doubt, and fundamentalism scares people into thinking that their doubts are wrong or sinful. And the danger with that is that it can stop people's faith from growing. In order to really grow in our spiritual lives, I think it's important that we recognise our doubts and questions. We only have to look in the Bible to see plenty of examples of people who ask difficult questions. The psalmist, for example, is constantly asking questions. Why is this happening? Why have you abandoned me? Where are you, God? There's something very refreshingly honest about the psalmist. Job, when he went through his sufferings, asked lots of questions about doubts, about his doubts and questions. And he wasn't condemned for asking those questions. He was, God listened to him patiently, and eventually Job was restored to fullness of life and to many blessings. The passage I'll be talking about on Sunday is about Thomas, who went through huge doubts after the resurrection. He could not believe that Jesus was risen from the dead. And yet, what's interesting, and I've been studying this just this afternoon, is that he wasn't rejected by the disciples. When Jesus came back to appear to the disciples later, after the first time, Thomas was with them. Thomas was staying with them. The disciples hadn't rejected him. He was still part of the community. And so Thomas was loved by the disciples, and he was loved by Jesus, even though he doubted. And I think that's really important for us as a church here at All Saints, that we welcome people even with their doubts. We don't say you've got to have complete and utter belief before you're welcome in this door. By the way, I'm sure other churches in Whitstable are the same as this. I'm just saying at All Saints for my purposes today. We love you even though you do doubt, even though you do question. We are most of all a community of love, just like Thomas was welcome as part of the disciples, even though he doubted. Just as Jesus appeared to Thomas despite his doubts, so we believe that love and community comes before your level of faith. And indeed, if you're able to express your doubts to God in prayer and say, Lord, why is this happening to me? Why is that happening to me? It's actually a sign of faith. Paul Tillich, the famous theologian, once said that doubt is an expression of faith. Doubt is an expression of faith. And that's true, isn't it? If you really think about it, doubt is a questioning. It's a searching. It's not a turning away. There's another famous saying about doubt, the opposite of doubt and faith, and that is this: the opposite of faith is not doubt, the opposite of faith is apathy. You see, it's apathy really that's the danger, that we just say, oh, I'll get on with my materialistic or hedonistic lifestyle, I won't bother about thinking about God or spirituality, I'm quite happy as I am. Now, obviously, I have many friends who think that way, but you're not going to grow in your spiritual life if you're apathetic. You're not going to grow in your walk with God if you don't ask questions. Doubts can be precisely the thing that can help us grow our faith, because we're able to say to God, please, Lord, be with me in this situation. Please, Lord, help me in this situation. Please, Lord, where are you? And it's that questioning that helps our faith to grow and changes us and gives us a spirituality. I know many people are wanting to grow in their spirituality, in the peace, joy of the Holy Spirit that is possible through Jesus. And I just want to say that one of those routes to a deeper walk with God is not through just a sort of blind faith, but it's through a questioning, a searching, an asking, a seeking, an agonizing. May you find that too. And may God bless you in your spiritual journey. Amen.